I adopted a child, and it nearly destroyed my family. My name is Eleanor Thompson, my dear, and this is our story. It began in Maplewood, Ohio, a quiet town where the streets are lined with oak trees and neighbors wave from their porches. James, my husband of 20 years, and I had raised two children, Sarah and Michael, who'd grown up and left our nest empty. The silence in our home was deafening. We missed the chatter, the laughter, the life that children bring. So we decided to open our hearts to a child who needed a family. After months of paperwork, we met Ethan, a 7-year-old boy who'd spent his life bouncing through foster homes. He sat in a gray office, clutching a tattered teddy bear, his eyes wide with hope and fear. My heart broke for him. I saw a child desperate for love, and I knew he was ours. We brought him home, painted his room blue, filled it with toys, and dreamed of a new chapter filled with joy. Those first days with Ethan were like planting a seed and watching it sprout. He was quiet, tiptoeing around our home as if afraid to break something. At school, teachers called him bright but shy. At home, he'd sit with us, watching cartoons, or help James weed the garden. I'd catch him smiling when I made his favorite spaghetti, and my heart soared. But there were moments that tugged at my nerves. He'd stare into space, eyes clouded, as if trapped in a memory. A slammed door or loud laugh would make him flinch. I told myself it was normal for a boy who'd known so little kindness. One night, as I tucked him in, he whispered, "Will you keep me forever?" I squeezed his hand. "Always, Ethan," I said. But his question lingered, a shadow in my mind. Months passed, and Ethan seemed to find his place. He had friends, good grades, but then shadows crept in. Small things went missing. My earrings, James's watch, coins from the kitchen jar. I found them in Ethan's closet, tucked away like secrets. "I didn't take them," he said, eyes wide, voice steady. I wanted to believe him, my dear, but doubt gnawed at me. His moods shifted like storm clouds. One day he'd laugh with us, the next he'd snap, slamming doors. At school, he fought a boy, leaving a bruise on his cheek. "He deserved it," Ethan muttered when I asked. The teacher's call confirmed my fears. He was withdrawing, acting out. James grew stern. "He needs rules, Eleanor. We're too soft." I argued for patience, for love. But at night I lay awake wondering if we were missing something deeper, something we weren't equipped to handle. The cracks in our family widened. Ethan started coming home late, slipping through the door after midnight. Eyes glassy, stories flimsy. "I was at a friend's," he'd say, but I knew he was lying. One day I found pills in his backpack, small, white, dangerous. My stomach churned. "What are these, Ethan?" I demanded. He smirked. "None of your business." His defiance cut deep. James and I fought over what to do. "He's out of control," James said, voice tight. "We need to lock this down." I pleaded for understanding, believing love could still reach him. But Ethan grew colder, his words sharper. "You're not my real mom," he spat one night, leaving me breathless. Then I caught him injecting something in his room. The needle glinted under the lamp, his arm bruised. "Ethan! Stop!" I cried. He turned, eyes hollow. "This is my life," he said, shoving past me. I collapsed, sobbing, as James held me. "We need help," I whispered. But help felt so far away, and fear was closing in. That October night haunts me still. The air was cold, rain tapping the windows. James was asleep, exhausted from work. I drifted off, only to wake with a chill down my spine. Ethan stood over my bed, his face blank, eyes like voids. "Ethan?" I whispered, heart racing. He didn't speak. He lunged, pinning me down, hands gripping my shoulders. I struggled, gasping. "Ethan, stop!" His strength terrified me. He pressed a hand over my mouth, silencing my screams. I thought I'd die there, under the weight of the boy I loved. James stirred. "What the hell?" he roared, leaping up. Ethan swung around, grabbing the bedside lamp. With a sickening crack, he struck James's head. Blood streamed down James's face as he collapsed. I screamed, breaking free, and ran, barefoot, into the night, yelling for help. Neighbors poured out. Someone called the police. Ethan was gone, vanished into the dark. James was rushed to the hospital, a gash on his forehead. I sat, trembling, in our shattered home, asking, how did we get here? How did my son become this stranger? Days later, the police found Ethan in an abandoned warehouse, strung out, barely conscious. At the hospital, he was a ghost of the boy we knew. Doctors tested him, their faces grim. Schizophrenia, they said, and a personality disorder. The words hit like a punch. It explained the lies, the rage, the violence, but it didn't ease the pain. Ethan was moved to a psychiatric facility. I visited once, my dear. He sat, medicated, staring through a barred window, not seeing me. It broke me to see him so lost, but I knew he was where he needed to be. James and I returned to a home that felt haunted. His stitches healed, but our hearts didn't. We replayed every moment, asking where we went wrong. I realized Ethan's wounds, abuse from foster homes, abandonment, were deeper than our love could reach. We'd tried, but some scars are too raw for a mother's touch alone. Now, my dear, I see the signs I missed. The stealing, the lies, the empty eyes. I thought love could fix anything. I was wrong. Love is vital, but it's not enough for wounds like Ethan's. Mental health issues, especially in children with trauma, need experts, therapy, sometimes medication. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't wait. I volunteer now, sharing our story with adoptive families through groups like Adopt US Kids. I tell them to watch for mood swings, isolation, defiance, signs I overlooked. No one should face what we did alone. Ethan's still in care, and I pray he finds peace. I love him, always will. He's my son, even if he's not here. If you're listening, my dear, and struggling with a child, seek help. You're not failing. You're fighting for them, and that's what mothers do.